Whoop.
And we're live.
Yo, babe.
Yo, babe.
Are you ready?
Like spaghetti.
Are you very low energy today?
No, I actually feel pretty good.
I know I'm caffeinated, but I feel under caffeinated.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I ordered a half calf, no calf, but then had to put 2 extra shots of caffeine.
Yeah, and it hasn't hit yet.
Well, I mean,
still waiting for the base to drop.
I don't know about this feeding window thing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't eat last time I ate but I mean, I had a drink last night, so 10 o'clock maybe. So that's probably counts. But from 10 o'clock last night until noon today, I didn't eat anything, and I took in nothing but water.
Yeah, that's why you feel low.
Yeah, I'm not caffeinated enough, which is probably really going to fuck me up because I'm going to caffeinate now, and it's all going to carry
until tonight.
Tonight,
and then you're gonna be up all night.
Yeah.
Well, and you slept a little bit.
So, what episode is this?
16.
Episode 16. Members, question and answer segment. Caleb Meyer says, John, is there a piece, rig, or bag you have done in the past that you're 100% pleased with? Yeah, shotgun rig worked right out the gate. We didn't make any modifications to it. Any piece you released for sale that you were never happy with? Yeah, I never liked the Mookie War bag. There's a couple other things I can't think off the top of my head, but there's some things, and I'm like, we can do this better. But it gets to the point where we price ourselves out of the market, and you guys won't buy it. I don't think I've ever built anything in my life that was 100% happy with. What do you build, Caleb? Always room for improvement. Amanda, is there anything you have in mind to build next?
I'm kind of removed from all of that.
Yeah, but you do your own stuff, right? Like
yes, I definitely do my own thing. Beanies, scarves, head wraps, hanks, some little pouches. I'm thinking about doing bracelets. Like I've got tons of ideas. I definitely enjoy being creative, but that's all on my own thing. You
don't make enough money with it.
It's not an SOE thing. It's like an outlet. It's
not
like a financial stream.
We actually lose money with her doing that shit. If she took 10 hours on a weekend, put that into SOE, it would make 10 times more than what she's charging you guys to do what she does. We actually lose money with her doing that stuff.
That's actually like a good point, because if it was somebody else doing it, they might make money, but you're more valuable doing the other thing.
Yes.
It's like untrackable income, right? Mm-hmm. For every order, she could sit there just on the weekend and ship product and put out 200 orders in a couple few hours. And typically when a customer gets an order, 50% of them place a new order. So that's new money in. So if you look at the spike in SOE sales every day versus the time she puts in, we lose a shit ton of money with her doing that stuff.
That's real, because I remember when I was like a first-time customer, that was back when the website said like 6-week wait.
It never said 6. It always said 8 to 12.
That's what it was.
It was a trip because people always said, hey, this says 6 weeks. And I'm like, and to the point where I wasn't even an asshole. I'm like, hey, can you get a screenshot of that or show me where you're seeing that? Because it had me questioning what my website said.
I wonder if it just sunk
I think
in.
just because other companies for so long, we've seen 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, that makes sense. 6 to 8 weeks. That seems normal, you know? But anyways, like I would place an order and be like, well, I'll wait and get this one before I order another one. Like, for no reason. It's just like some weird brain thing that happens to people, you know?
Yeah,
I run into that literally every single time I send a text out. Some dude is going to reply, and he'll be like, well, I'm still waiting on my other order. Well, that's great. I like, good for you. Thank you for your order. However, by the time you get that other order, all the shit that you wanted that was in this text is going to be gone.
Yep.
Those are low-value customers.
So you can cut off your nose to spite your face, but you're not going to win.
If that's what you're doing, just don't vocalize it. If that's in your head, keep that to you, because times have changed. Things are fucking different now. And for every one of those dudes, I have customers that are like, hey, what's up with my order? And when I do look at your orders, I do check those. And when I do, while I'm in the account, there's a tab right next to it that says all orders. So I look at all orders. And if he's inquiring about an order down here, is that his only open order, right? And a lot of these dudes have multiple open orders. And when a dude's asking about an order and I'm like, yeah, I wish we had shipped this already. It just wasn't doable yet. But he's got 50 orders beyond that. Like he ordered this week, he ordered last week, he ordered the week before. We're obviously going to try to perform better for that person than because I only have so much time. And
I would assume too that a guy who orders every week and he's asking about something that's old probably needs it. Like he's not just
no, it's usually not needable things,
really?
Right? It's just he has an open order.
Yeah.
Like it's not and money's money, right?
Yeah.
Why should we get to decide who gets their shit over somebody else and justify that their money was more important? But it's not stuff that's used on the job. It never is. It's always toxic thread or, orange thread, which is the truth is, I mean, that's where we make our money on lifestyle equipment, right? It's not on warfighter gear anymore.
Well, we talked about this when you had one of your bigger rigs. I don't think it was the NSW. It was like 8 stacked.
Yeah, 8 mag stacked rig. We recently did those.
Yeah, and I was telling you that I've always thought that was the cool looking rig, but I don't know what I'm talking about. That's why I don't have a rifle rig, because I don't know what I need yet.
Do you own a rifle?
Yeah, but I haven't taken any training, so I don't know.
What kind of rifle do you have?
It's technically not a rifle. The only thing I have is an AK pistol, because that's all I could get in California, and I haven't got anything since.
Can you shoulder it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you could totally use the stacked mag rig. You could also use a stacked micro, which would look silly on you. Yeah. It's so small. But the 8 mag rig would be fucking awesome on you. And the cool thing when you go from a 6 to an 8 is instead of having 2 columns of PALs on the side, you have 4 on each side.
So you can add more stuff.
That's right. So you gain 2 rifle mags, but you gain 4 more columns of PALs. So you can put full-size medical on there. You can put extra medical on there. You can put smokes. You can put admin. You can put radio. You can put a lot of other stuff there.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. Like I need to figure out what I don't know before I buy that. But I have a lot of the lifestyle stuff. Like all the girls have a bunch of pink stuff, that kind of stuff.
Before I could afford a Ferrari, I bought a Hublot Ferrari watch, right? And I really fought with myself over that. I'm like, no, I'm not a Ferrari owner. I shouldn't buy this watch.
I get that.
But it was carbon fiber and it was red, and it just happened to say Ferrari. But then buying that watch, they invited us out to the Ferrari event, and they invited us out to the Pacquiao fight, and they brought, they invited us a lot of places because we had bought and done so much business with the company. I'm also not a boxer, right? I'm not a basketball player either, but I have a Dwayne Wade. I think it's Dwayne Wade Hublot. I have a lot of different watches.
Yeah.
So whatever, And then when I could afford a Ferrari, I didn't buy the Ferrari.
Yeah, I've thought about that because you can, if you know what to look for, you can get something that is cheaper than like a new, standard car. Like I was gonna say Corolla, but probably not that cheap. Maybe like a new 4-door Lexus. You can have a Ferrari for that price, but.
Yeah, you don't want that Ferrari.
Exactly. That's what
you don't want anything with an F1 transmission in it. Like people don't realize it's a $10,000 oil change.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I was talking to somebody yesterday. I think I was talking to Brandel. He said something, and I said, when we run those cars, like we've run the cars to Atlanta, right, and back, and then you need a service.
Yeah.
When you're running cars like to Miami out for Car Week or whatever. You need a service when you get there. You need a service after you drive around, and you need a service when you get home. So it's a rich guy's thing, right? You can have a Ferrari and live in the middle of nowhere. Everybody that lives in an apartment, well, not everybody, because most of them are dipshits, but you can live in an apartment and have a Ferrari. Your Ferrari will be trashed within 2 years because there's not a garage, right? And when you drive those cars, most of those guys have an F450. And they've got a fucking enclosed trailer, and they drive the truck out. And just like Bike Week, a lot of bikers don't run their bikes to Sturgis. They trailer those things. And really, when you're at the Pinnacle, you have a company that fucking flies those cars in, or you have a driver. Like we didn't pack up a lot of times and go to Akatia. I had 2 dudes that would fucking load. When we would get back from riding, we would unload all the trailers. They would wash all the bikes. We would change all the oil out, freshen the top ends on them. We would do all the work on the bike, not somebody else, not me. We'd load and pack those bikes back up. And then on Thursday, my guy Matt and another dude would run all those bikes out to the desert, and then we would roll out Friday. We'd have the shop open Friday. As soon as we're off, we would roll into Ocotillo. We didn't do that shit. I had employees that did that shit. Yep. And that's what Tate was saying. You know, I just bought my second Bugatti for $5 million. And he's like, it's not about the car, it's the access to the other people that have the cars. Every Bugatti owner throws an event, and a lot of those dudes they're building these communities now. Same with, small jet owners. They're building these communities on private runways and private racetracks. And then you buy a membership, and then you build your barn dominium or your hangar or whatever there, and you come out. Like Lamborghini has a car you can buy right now. You don't ever take possession of the car. Lamborghini brings your car out every time you want to race it. And that can be, I think, up to 20 weekends, 20 days out of the year. But they take your car when you're done driving it, service it, keep it in a car hauler, and then when you want to race, you show up, and they show up. And everybody that runs this Lamborghini race series, that's how that is. Yeah. And that's how that works. And so Tate was like, it's not about the Bugatti, it's access to the Bugatti owners. And they all have so much money that when you're around people like that, you cannot help but operate at a higher level. Yeah. And that's what that ownership's about. People like, well, I wouldn't buy a Rolex because they don't keep good time. That's just some bullshit you tell you. Yeah. A motherfucker saying that doesn't tell time anyways. Mm-hmm. It's not about the time. It's about the entry into the club. Yep. It's about the other dudes with those timepieces. Here I am, fucking idiot, saying timepiece. They always correct me. Dudes always come on my video and they're like, it's timepiece. It's timepiece. I won't say timepiece simply because you fucking want me to say timepiece. Yeah, it's fucking, it's a watch. It's a stupid expensive watch that I don't tell time with anyways. I still look at my phone out of habit.
Just real quick on the same subject about the expensive stuff though. It's Christmas time and Annie gets a new Apple Watch every other year. This will probably be her fourth one.
Because so Amanda gets one because they break. Yeah, like they're really a shitty product.
Yeah, like a lot of times she's not wearing it. I'm like, what's up? She's like, oh, it disconnected and I can't figure out how to get it back on.
Yeah, it's not a good product.
No. And for the price that I've paid in Apple Watches, she could have had like an entry-level Rolex that she would have had forever.
Which would be worth fucking way more right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you would have something like, where are all those other Apple Watches?
Oh yeah,
at?
they're just either thrown away or put in a closet.
I have a 5-gallon bucket full of phones, and I went to turn one on the other day just to see if I could get. I don't even know what's in it. Right? I get a new phone. I never fucking sync it to the cloud. I start all over with Brent. When I'm 4:30 in the morning when you're getting 20 fucking videos from me, it's because I'm making room in this stupid phone right here. Yep. And I bought the big one, right?
I just went and ordered because I'm out of space too, so I have to delete something anytime I want to save something. I went and ordered the 1 terabyte Apple phone, and it's going to take a month to get here.
So I figure you could just dump it to hard drive, utilize it and trash it, whatever. Yeah. I'm just making room, and then if you want to do shorts out of them, they're there.
No, I'm just talking about, like, if I want to take a picture of my kids, I have to delete something.
Right.
So I just figured, but we were talking about that, like, I always try to get a bigger amount of storage every time, and it fills up the same amount of time. So I feel like they know that.
I think it's bullshit. Yeah, I think it's horseshit.
That's crazy, because I have, like, 16,000 pictures on my phone.
Yeah, I've got at least 10.
But we have a ton of video, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I've got several videos on my phone too, but I don't think I'm anywhere near using it.
Well, so mine I think is 500 gigs right now. Yeah, the 1 terabyte will be here in a month.
Yeah. Randall said he said his phone was $1,800.
Yeah.
Is that what those fucking things cost?
So
probably the 1 terabyte ones do.
Yeah, so I paid out of pocket $700, but then it adds a little bit to your bill for 2 years.
So I think a lot of people don't have a concept of what they cost because at 12 months I can walk in and they'll give me the new Wazoo.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't ever pay the bill. It just fucking pulls out.
This is about the time we get new phones every 2 years. Same thing with, I get a new watch at Christmas every 2 years. But there's a few months in between where I don't tell her that it's like upgrade time. And my bill goes down. Like, this is so nice that I don't have to pay an extra $100 or whatever it is.
So, Yeah.
I'm set up on the thing through Verizon where every time Apple releases a phone, I literally just take mine in and trade it in, and they give me the new one.
So that's basic. Matter of fact, we're actually going to pay less because I paid more cash this time. But yeah, like it doesn't change. Like if we just always get the new phone, it won't change our bill. But if we keep one longer than 2 years, the bill will go down.
Yeah.
You're going to see, I think you're going to see some stuff come down in price because there's going to be that area where people are tight for money right now. And the company has to, they can't keep all those high price customers anymore because they're falling off. So do we charge 30% less, but triple our customer base, right?
Yeah, the demand is going to go
Will the
down.
money be more if we charge less because the customers are so much higher? Like we got hit up, we have a paracord manufacturer that we do business with. And they're kind of a pain in the ass to do business with. I buy tons of paracord off of Amazon just because I can literally, on the fly, within 30 seconds, push it, order it, and I know it'll be here in 2 days.
Yep.
When we order from these guys, we get wholesale pricing, but it takes fucking weeks to show up.
It's a pain in the ass.
But they hit me up, and they're like, hey, we will give you 100-foot, they call them hanks. 100-foot, basically, bunches that are packaged. We'll give these to you for fucking half price, half of my wholesale price.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, holy shit. But when I look at it, it's a bunch of
random shit.
Every one of them's a different color. I'm like, how the fuck would we sell this to our clients? Because we would have to populate the website with 100 different colors. And there's always going to be assholes that are like, can you send me these 3 pictures? By the time I send you pictures, somebody else bought it, right? So it's not worth doing.
Yep.
But what that tells me is they went through inventory they have because their sales are low or zero. So they took, and they are literally willing to sell what they were already charging me wholesale and cut wholesale pricing in half to get their clients to buy. That tells me they don't have payroll or they're about to go out of business.
That's how I think like dollar stores get a lot of their stuff. There's liquidation sales of like they're
auctions and stuff.
They're gonna take a loss on it, but they'll get some money back.
Yep.
So that's what they do.
Yep. So Blockade Runner, I don't have anything to sell, but you make a compelling case to have social media following. I have Twitter and YouTube, and I'm considering starting a home maintenance / industrial maintenance how-to kind of vibe. Not product reviews, but more in the field job site and around the house type shit. I think Andrea should be Andrea. Blockade Runner has nothing to do with Andrea, right? That's not her husband. No. Blockade Runner, man, why are you going to do it if you can't monetize it? That's your dramatic pause right there. You're like, why am I going to do it if I can't monetize it? Why am I going to spend my time if I don't have some hope, plan, desire to do something with this, right? The most valuable thing in 2022 is an audience and access to audience, right? So I was good right up to the point where you said you're not going to do product reviews, because if you can do product reviews, companies will send you that shit eventually. You'll get access to things you didn't know were there. And then you can monetize those things. If nothing else, here's a link to this thing that I'm reviewing, and here it is on Amazon. Now, if you're willing...
Here's how I'm going to use it.
Yes, here's how I'm going to use it. Here's the industrial thing that I'm fixing today. I'm working on John's sewing machines, and I use John's tool apron, but I carry this Leatherman around because it's so fucking rad, and sometimes I can use it at work, so that's my bullshit excuse to have it, but I like having it on the weekends. Here it is on the Amazon. Here's the link on John's thing. But what I really use are these 2 little screwdrivers. And here's a link to them on Amazon also. What you will get on Amazon by doing that, maybe nobody buys those 2 stupid little screwdrivers. And I'm saying that because I have these little screwdrivers. But everybody that clicks Amazon, they just like you or whatever, or they want to just go and see what you're talking about. Any purchase they make, it's actually 48 hours. I always tell you guys 24 hours so that it builds urgency in case it's gone a little longer than you thought and you think it's still populated. But if you go to Amazon from any of my links, anything you buy in the next 48 hours, I get 2% off of. It's 1 to 2%, but sometimes it's a lot more than that depending on the item. So that's how you can make money off Amazon. there's programs. Everything is automated now. Nothing is hard to do anymore. If it's hard, it's only because you don't know. There's a program called Affiliately. There's a ton of these things. Affiliately. And what it is, hey, John, I keep showing your products. I use your products in my videos, and I've got 10,000 views on all my videos. I really believe in your product. I would like to make some money off of showing your stuff, though. How can we do that? Well, Affiliately, we could do that. I could give you an affiliate link that is Blockade Runner, 10% or whatever. And every time they click that, it takes them to my website, and anything they buy, it automatically does the banking, and it gives me 90% and you 10% or whatever the percentages are. But that program will show. I don't know if that's too hot, you can turn that off. I've never had the heat on, and I'm fucking hot right now too.
Yeah, I'm good unless you guys want me.
No. So I don't know if it shows me and then Amanda cuts you a check or the program, but somehow it tells us what the balance is. But more importantly, it gives you a back-end login, so you know how much money has come through your click-through links, and we know how much money's come through the click-through links. And if we're like, holy shit, this guy's making us all this fucking money, then we can do it. Now, you could reach out to people with 1,000, but I get people reached out all the time, and it's never big dudes. The big guys, Such, when Such does a video on my stuff, he never asks for a percentage, right? He doesn't care. He's making so much money all over the place. But little dudes hit me up all the time, and they're like, hey, man, I'll promote your product if you can give me a percentage on this, or if you'll send me these things, I'll do reviews. It's always a kid with fucking zits all over his face, and I don't care if you got zits all over your face, but fucking fix your shit. You know, if you wash your face, zits go away.
Or put some powder on before you film.
But you're representing my comp. My point is, it's always somebody with 10 viewers or 100 viewers. And we used to get hit up all the time, and guys were like, hey, man, if you send me this thing, I'll promote your product. I'm like, dude, you have 1,000 followers. I have 2 million combined followers. If you just use my product and put my name in your video, you're going to get 10 times the views. The crazy shit is, if you did videos about SOE shit and you were a good channel, you'd get more views than I get because I'm fucking so throttled back and you're not. So, yes, you should build an audience. And you can take the same content and then you can load it to other channels, because a lot of people on different channels. Scully's all over fucking TikTok and Facebook. He is not on Instagram at all. But Scully was told me for years to get on TikTok, and I never did. Yeah. So there's different people, different places. They get used to using those platforms, and those are more eyeballs, and eyeballs can become money. It's just how you monetize that, right? So if you're not thinking monetize it, why are you doing it? So do it, but think monetize it.
Yeah, make it worth your time to do it.
Pull your microphone closer.
You can kill that.
Okay, you want me to?
All you gotta do is point the remote at it and hit off. We've got mini splits in here. We've never run them on the heat mode, and they are fucking. I haven't had that thing on 10 minutes, and it's blazing hot in here.
It's toasty.
Yeah. I keep forgetting to send this to you. I just have to go back and pull it out of a 4-hour podcast. It's this guy who, nobody knows how rich he is, but he's rich enough to not have to do anything, and on a whim, he'll go to another state to buy a motorcycle, shit like that. And he doesn't work anymore, but he made all of his money on gaming YouTube, playing video games and people watching him. And he's talking about how one viewer is worth 0.5 of a cent to you as the content creator, but if you had 10 people paying you $5 a month, those 10 people are worth way more. How many of those free viewers do you have to make up just those 10 people?
Paywall.
Yeah. So, and he was talking about
and that's what this is, guys. That's what this is. That's the membership to give you an idea.
So, you're not going to make any money just uploading videos to YouTube. You have to find another way to monetize it, but you can. There's definitely ways.
Yeah, absolutely. The money doesn't come from YouTube anymore.
No, it used to, but not anymore.
Not anymore. And that's, how many questions do I have here?
22, 23.
22, 23 people are behind my paywall asking questions right here. I know Andrea. She walks in here. I'm going to fucking spend time with her and her husband way more than I'm going to spend time with somebody else, because Not just because she pays $1 a month or $5 a month or whatever. Is that what it is? A month or a week? I don't even know what it is.
So there's 2 levels: $1 a month and $5 a month.
So, but that's not why. It's because I communicate with her all the time. It is important enough.
She's very active.
It is important enough to her to be on my live feeds. It is important enough to her to create questions, even when she doesn't probably even have questions. She's just participating. Brian Fraser. I wouldn't know that motherfucker to look him in the eye, but if he said, I'm Brian Fraser, I would know wherever I am, I would stop what I'm doing and talk to him.
A lot of the members are starting to use pictures of themselves as their profile pictures. I'm like,
that's how it should
smart.
be.
Yeah, this will be good.
Look, I don't think you should be able to have any social media with something other than your real fucking name.
Yeah, you should have to co-sign, right?
Because if your real fucking name is what your name is on that social media app, you're going to be a lot less likely to be an idiot.
Yep.
It should all be monetized, right? With real money. It should be monetized in a manner that if I put something out that is false and proven to be false, I should be penalized. But if I put something out positive and they agree with it, right? The way you get paid is if you put out information that people like it, they tip you.
Yeah.
But if you find out that it was bad information, then you should be penalized. People would think twice before doing that shit.
That's true. How do you figure out what's bad information? Because 2 years ago we were being told that the truth was not the truth.
Well, then they should have to hold it in a fund and give me all my fucking money back with interest. Then I mean, I don't know, but there's a way to do this better.
Yeah.
People are not interested in. Well, people are, but big corporations are not interested in doing that. And when there is something smaller that is working, that is a threat, they're big enough to buy it.
Yeah.
Or fucking corporate takeover. Brian Fraser says, John, revisit the boat anti-icers for water tanks. It's just a vibrator, waterproof. It's just a waterproof vibrator. Also, check out windmill plunger setups. Moving water is it's harder to freeze. Got it. So I just use the floating stock tank heaters. We used to buy them for $35. Last year they were $65. And I'm not discounting what you're saying, Brian. It's something that I don't know about, and I know my shit works already. But these floating stock tank de-icers, the point is when you need one of these things, if your water freezes and you've just started homesteading, right, and you have animals that you have to take care of, when you need one of these things, it's not there. Everybody else who was unprepared also needed one. Get on Amazon right now. Go to Tractor Supply, go to Co-op, buy you one of these things while they're $65. I keep several extra on hand, and every year I buy them whether I need them or not. And at this point, I probably have half a dozen extras. But I have two. Here's what we used to do. As a matter of fact, it happened today. When I went to feed and water the rabbits, the water bottles were frozen, and it's not even that the whole bottle's frozen; it's that the metal tube is frozen. So I like rubber water bowls. You can buy them Tractor Supply. You can buy them a lot of places. I like rubber because when the ice is frozen, I can smack them and it doesn't chip or break the bowl. If you're using big, we used for years, I probably have 1,000 water bowls because of the snakes. We buy them from Walmart and they have a small, medium, and large bowl. And the larger the body of water, the longer it's going to take it to freeze up all the way. And I take them and I just smack them on a tube on the sawhorse or 2x4. Eventually they split or break. Now, some of the rabbits are assholes and will immediately chew up rubber water bowls. So fuck them, they get stainless steel water bowls. Now rabbits, as that water freezes, and it'll freeze through the night because I don't go out there. When it's really cold, we change water twice a day. Once in the evening, right as it's dark, and then once in the morning. But the water's frozen by the time we get there. The rabbits will paw through there, bite through there, gnaw through there, and get to the water. They will also eat the ice. Rabbits
don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they're very, like they live through the wilderness in the wild for a reason. So rubber water bowls for the ones that are, because they don't break, they don't chip. But I have 2 stock tanks right up by the rabbits now. Just last year, I started doing this. 4 years, 5 years before, we were literally, when the water was frozen outside, we'd put 5-gallon buckets, 4 to 6 5-gallon buckets on the 4-wheeler, drive around to the kitchen, go inside the kitchen, and fill it up with hot water. And I know somebody's like, John, hot water freezes faster. We would freeze it up. We'd fill them up and drive up there with water sloshing all over. So you were freezing yourself by the time you got there. And then I'd use a pitcher, 1 gallon pitcher, and I'd fill the water bottles up, or the bowls, because we're not going to run. There'll be about 2-month period where we don't use bottles. The bottles are way faster, because also when you're doing rabbit water bottles, if you have to remove your water bottle to fill it, you got the wrong bottles. Get the bottles with the caps on the top. Use garden hose, walk cage to cage, and fill all those things up. They're super easy. You can also use 5-gallon buckets. 5-gallon buckets, though, on top, you have to use water lines and liquors. The water lines get debris. They get calcium in them. They get minerals in them. And eventually you're going to have a rabbit that just looks really shitty. And when you start really researching and paying attention to what's going on, that water line has been gnawed, chewed, something's happened. I intentionally don't use the water lines because I will not check them and maintain them the way they need to be. So it physically makes me, because if I could go 4 or 5 days without going and looking at the animals, I would definitely do it. I'm lazy that way. I have set my animals up in a manner that I have to go check on them every day. And then I know when there's a problem happening. So stock tank heaters, I have 2 Rubbermaid stock tanks. One's, 200 gallons, one's 60 gallons. And I don't even use, for a while I was running 2 stock tank heaters, 1 in each. You don't need to do that. I can just heat one day, and then the next day there's a skin of ice on the top. I take it out of the warm steaming tank, put it on the ice tank, and by the time I'm done up there, which is about 20 minutes, that water is now uniced, and it's going to heat up all day, and then tomorrow the other one's going to be skinned over, and that's how we do it. If I need to move there, now there was a couple times this year where water was really frozen good, and I still had to bring water from the kitchen up, and then we just dump it into those stock tanks. But man, if I moved the stock tanks to the inside of the rabbits and just put some plywood around it to kind of block, it would take longer. Or if I put straw bales around that, I probably wouldn't even have to use the stock tank heaters. And if I did, it would only be every few days. There's definitely ways I could do it. But I do have the stock tanks are black, and they do sit and get sun all day. And even on the frozenest day, those things are unfrozen a few hours after the sun comes up, even without the stock tank heaters. But it's all about time. What is your time worth? And if your time, if it is not too expensive for you to manually take care of these animals, I just want you to reevaluate your life and figure out how to make your time more valuable. That's what it comes down to. Try not to